Hey! Right when we get done. Anyways, let's hop right into it. Jasmine Crockett. Y'all know how I feel about Jasmine Crockett. No time to waste. Let's get it. Let's go. Hold up. My bad, y'all. Jasmine. Let's get it. Let's go.
Tonight is the Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas, and thank you so much for being here, because I just think to hear
Hey,
everything
beautiful.
that is at stake this week as it's really coming into clear view now with this government shutdown dragging on. Do you believe this will be the week that Congress comes to an agreement here?
I have no idea. I mean, you started off talking about the fact that the president is in Japan. The president has time to do everything but what he needs to focus on. In fact, we heard the press secretary say that his main priority is the ballroom that no one asked for, the ballroom that requires him to destroy historic pieces of the White House. And so it doesn't seem like he's interested. It is my hope that his friends start calling him Jeff Bezos when those Amazon planes are not flying. Hopefully, he will listen to them, because he's not listening to the pain that the American people are suffering through. As again, you played a clip and he said everybody's going to be in good shape. Who is everybody? Because when people are hungry, which people were already hungry in this country, we have not done right by those that have been struggling, because $6 a day to eat doesn't fix it. And you say everybody's going to be in good shape as you are putting more money into your son's pocket, as you are saying that we should take American taxpayer dollars and put them in your pocket to the tune of $280 million. I mean, I don't know who everybody is, but it is not the average American.
Yeah.
Remember the fact check, y'all.
Context of the comment from Caroline Leavitt, she was asked if the president was working on any other renovations when it came to the White House.
I believe
she was
her.
saying his focus was the ballroom. But to your point about what the president said when he was leaving Washington, he was asked, are they going to find a way to pay for SNAP benefits, because they found ways to pay for some other things, at least for parts of this shutdown. The USDA website right now says this. I want people to just read this. It says Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. And the USDA website says at this time there will be no benefits issued November 1st. Do you worry that people will blame your party when they do not have those benefits any longer?
I don't worry about that. I think that's why the White House has decided that they would just violate, well, I mean, they consistently violate the law, but we know that this is absolutely a violation of the Hatch Act. And so they are trying to make sure that they can place blame, because the reality is that they control the White House, they control the House, they control the Senate. And typically when you are an adult in politics, you sit down and you work together to come up with a solution. And right now, Democrats are trying to make sure that the CBO, or the Congressional Budget Office, doesn't have to estimate how many more deaths are going to come at the hands of Republicans who refuse to make sure that people in this country can have health care. There seems to be a theme. Yes, we will get rid of your health care so that we can go and bail out Argentina. Yes, we will get rid of your food that is on your table, whether we're talking about the farmers who are not going to be able to put food on our tables because there are record bankruptcies that they are filing right now, or if we're talking about SNAP benefits. Like, they seemingly, it is a matter of we've got the king and he's just all about eating his cake and don't worry about the poor little peasants. But that's where we are right now.
You've talked about the benefits of SNAP before. You've talked about your concerns about cuts to the program. Do you think come Saturday, when people don't have that access, millions of Americans who need that and rely on it, that they will say, okay, this fight for healthcare premiums that you're fighting for Obamacare subsidies, that is still worth it if they're not able to get that money? Do you think that that's the calculus they'll make?
I do think that they'll make that calculus. It'd be different if we were fighting for, a random plant in a specific part of the country. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the very basics. Like, it is really sad when you are in a country that is not a third world country and people are basically begging their government to do the basics. We're not talking about luxuries. It should not be a luxury that you get $6 a day, right, to eat. Like, that should not be a luxury. And we should be looking at the fact that there are funds available, and he is choosing not to use those funds. Or when you start to talk about your big billionaire friends as you're continuing to violate laws, why is it that you're not looking out for people that are hungry? Why aren't you looking at the fact that rural America overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, and rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America? I mean, like, these are your voters, right? So, like, why aren't you doing those things? So I think that the question should be, which party is truly about being pro-life? Which party is truly about the entirety of the United States? And which party is really more patriotic? I would say that he is a party of him and other rich people and nobody else. And I'm hoping that all Americans can finally wake up and say, we are going to prioritize ourselves. We are going to look for people that maybe we don't think they're super funny or super entertaining, but they will not try to deal death to us with every single policy that they hand out. And ultimately, if people end up going hungry because SNAP benefits end up drying up, this is just a preview of what is going to happen as relates to what they did in the Big Ugly Bill.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of questions about what happens when the bill that the House passed to go through the end of November runs out, what that looks like. And the president was talking to reporters on Air Force One today. He had a lot to say in that. We're going to show people that during the show, because he talked about a third term. He talked about his recent visit to Walter Reed, but he also brought you up.
He's still talking about a third term?
He was speaking with reporters. I want everyone to listen to what he said about you.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test. Have her pass, like, the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
It was a question about not ruling out a third term, but what's your reaction to what the president said there?
Listen, I'm waiting on a reporter, and maybe it'll be you, Caitlin, that finally ask him what is his IQ, because he is constantly talking about, he doesn't even know what a low IQ is. He don't even know which scores are low. And I can guarantee you that whatever score, if he's taken one anytime recently, I'm sure that his qualifies as low. Listen, he's never been known to be an Einstein. This is not a guy who got in on merit when it came to going to college. This is someone who, but for him being born with a silver spoon, probably wouldn't have got into anybody's institution, unlike me. So, I am not worried about that, and I wish people would look at the fact that you have a president of the United States who consistently is obsessing over 2 women of color that are members of the House. You are the president. You have a lot more power than we do, but obviously you consistently feel threatened, and that is why we have seen the attacks on black women in general from this administration. I don't know what black woman hurt him in his past, honey, but it is really taking him through it. But I really wish, for the sake of this country and honestly for the sake of the world, that he would focus on his real job and stop worrying about me. My constituents would worry about whether or not I have an adequate IQ, even though that's not the test that he's taking. And it's up to them to decide. It's not him. He can't hire me or fire me, unfortunately for him. And as it relates to a third term, people need to listen to what he's saying. They need to listen to that, because that is a very scary thing. It's unconstitutional. I do think he's being serious. He has hats that are made. He's starting to get people primed for this. There are people that are riding around in wrapping vehicles with Trump 2028. This is a serious threat. We know that he didn't want to leave the House last time, and that's why we ended up with January 6th. So no, people need to think about this seriously and understand that the people around him consistently break the law, and the Supreme Court has said that, yeah, he has immunity. So, you know, I don't know how they will rule on whether or not he gets immunity when he does something and he is not duly elected, because there are no third terms in this country. But we really need to be concerned, especially as his friends are the ones buying things such as Dominion.
I don't think she said anything wrong. Yeah, I would just say, you know, the conversations are good. They're really good. Yeah. I'm out, y'all. Peace.